Nobody wants to miss WrestleMania. I mean, nobody wants to miss dinner, so missing the show of shows must be terrible. WWE does have a wonderful issue at the moment, which is that they are blessed with way too much talent. So when you do sit down to book 2 days of the granddaddy of them all, it must be a bit like, well, we can't fit in this person because we're just too stacked. What the flub are we gonna do? So I am Simon Miller, and who is in this very risky position as we speak? Let's go. Number 10, the Wyatt Six. So I do think it's fair to say that right now the Wyatt Six just aren't being used much in general. Like their feud with the Final Testament was just kicked out of the window, and it feels like we're going to do something with The Miz because they were both moved to SmackDown. But at the moment, there's been none. While their debut was totally amazing too, we haven't really moved much forward with the stories either. I do remember all those awesome video packages we got in the beginning. I thought they were really going to be stretched out, but instead the Wyatts went quiet. And now I don't really know what they're doing. I mean, given where The Miz currently is, maybe you could do Bo Dallas versus The Miz at WrestleMania. But given that WWE loves doing stuff on the pre-SmackDown and the post-Raw, kind of feels like it fits there better. Mostly, I'd just like to see a team like Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis be allowed to go after the championships. And Nikki Cross could go after the women's title. She's absolutely brilliant. At the moment, she's not had a feud with anyone. It just doesn't really feel like there's much room on Triple H's TV for the spooky wookie at the moment. Unless it's more when we do get to the mystery. But at the moment, it's a very curious situation. Number 9, The Miz. But I just mentioned him, so I can't mention him again. I mean, it stands to reason. Now, the deal with The Miz is that he has had such a great career and he's had so many WrestleMania moments. I actually think it matters what you do with him. He is basically bulletproof. I'm sure on a personal level he wants to be at WrestleMania 41, but he could win, he can lose, he can do just about anything, and any potential wrestler should be like, man, I'd love to have a run like The Miz. So once again, something could happen with the Wyatts, and it could even be a multi-man person when you throw some friends with The Miz, and he is hunting for buddies right now. But just to say what I just said, that really does feel like something you do on the SmackDown before WrestleMania. Once again, though, he is just a wonderful person to have around, and any promotion should want to have him, or at least a wrestler like that on his books. And aside from winning the Royal Rumble, what hasn't he done? I think he's pretty much done everything else. Number 8, Nia Jax. Mostly because she has had such a good 12 months, and she's feuded with everybody. I mean, Nia Jax essentially hit a 2024-25 Grand Slam. But I thought at one point the tag team match between her and Candice LeRae and Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton could happen at WrestleMania. But instead we moved it forward to the Elimination Chamber, which does make sense. Trish is from Canada. Nia just doesn't need to go after the World Championship for a while either because we have done that so much. And I suppose now that she does have a new best friend in Candice LeRae, she could go after the women's tag team titles. But that feels like a post-WrestleMania program. I suppose the pair could get involved in Tiffany versus Charlotte Flair, but I'd actually stay away from that. And I guess we could be doing the Battle Royals this year, not 100% sure. Actually, I would have Nia Jax win one of those. But again, I'm going to say this a lot during this video. If that is the case, probably going to happen on the SmackDown before, say it together, WrestleMania. Number 7, Braun Strowman. So if we do go with recent episodes of SmackDown, Braun Strowman has been hanging out with Damian Priest and going after the Bloodline. I can't see any of that making its way to WrestleMania. The interesting part is that once he is done with Jacob Fatu, what is he going to do next? And yeah, here comes the Andre the Giant Battle Royal thing again. I suppose he could win that, but ultimately he doesn't quite now have a path. I mean, he's going to have a role regardless because Triple H totally understands how to use him in the monster role. He just runs at people and steamroll them. So while he may miss WrestleMania, you just know after the fact, everything is going to be perfectly fine. Also, I personally find Braun Strowman a treat. He walks out there and goes, "Raw!" and then loses his temper. Who knew wrestling could be so simple? But yeah, when it does come to WrestleMania 41, can't find a place for him. Number 6, Liv Morgan. So this all depends on the Elimination Chamber, because some people have fantasy booked the idea that Liv does win, she then rekindles her feud with Rhea Ripley, but we also hurl Io Sky in there, and that's why there was so many shenanigans. We were moving towards the 3-way. I guess we overthought it. But however you want to get there, I would find a tag team match for her on WrestleMania 41, ensure they do win, and then just let them ride the wave in 2025. That's one of the best things about 2024. The women's tag team titles feel relevant again. We've got to keep it going. That is the reason, though, why some people are going, oh my gosh, Liv Morgan is going to miss WrestleMania. Because, yeah, under Triple H's watch, sometimes those belts aren't really featured. And on occasion, you forget they exist. Thing is, Liv Morgan is such a star, I think it would be nuts that she missed WrestleMania 41. She was one of the right treats of 2024, given that heel run. So I am confident with this one. I do understand your worries, but Mr. Simon, should have called myself that, is going to say, she will be on WrestleMania. Number 5, The New Day. So I do not understand what we are doing with The New Day post that heel turn. It was one of the best turns we have seen in years. Ever since then, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods have kind of been treading water. This is why I really do hope when we get to WrestleMania is the War Raiders versus The New Day, and The New Day should win. That means they become the Raw Tag Team Champions, and they should do it in the most asshole possible fashion. That way they can ride that until the cows come home. Once again though, the problem here is how does Triple H currently see the Raw Tag Team scene? And if you do need something for that Monday night after WrestleMania, well, you could do the title change there instead, and I do get that, would probably get a bigger reaction. I think the big issue is that the men's tag team championships on both sides are just a little bit lackluster at the moment, and I think it's a 99% certainty that we are going to have a multi-man when it comes to the blue brand ones. What the flub happens to the red ones? I really do hope I'm wrong though, because I think the New Day do deserve their big moment at WrestleMania, especially if they do just act like massive dickheads. They are 2 of my favorite characters on the show at the moment, so I just wish them the best. Don't know what that says about me too. They were horrible to Big E. I have problems. Number 4, LA Knight. So I am still going with LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the US title. I mean, there was a rumor that it was going to be Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa, and that one got kicked out the window, and also I just think it makes all the sense in the world. These two have had a bit of a relationship, and given that the world title scene is so crammed right now, you give Jacob the US Championship, and he just zooms off into the next stratosphere. It also means that LA Knight can reclaim the gold from Shinsuke Nakamura, which we should do, and again, that may have already happened by the time you've seen this video. Although I do get it. Now you're saying, but Simon, that would mean that LA Knight only held the belt for about 6 weeks. I agree with you, I don't get it. But the real thing is that if Jacob does have other plans, what the flub would you do with LA Knight anyway? Don't want to be that guy, but this Shinsuke feud hasn't been that good. In fact, it has kind of lowered the US title just a little bit. I guess you could work somebody in like Carmelo Hayes or Andrade and a bunch of other people and do a multi-man, which may actually be the big talking point when we get to WrestleMania 41. We had a lot of matches and we threw a lot of bodies in there, but I'll be totally honest with you, looking at the personal side of wrestling, because everybody does want to compete at WrestleMania, the more the merrier, I'll be fine with this. Number 3, Bayley. I mean, surely it's going to be Bayley versus Roxanne Perez. When it comes to those two, we have gone out of our way to do other variations of that match. But as of me talking to you, we haven't done the big single. It also means that Roxy and Bayley can get into it during the Elimination Chamber, and they are both in there. And maybe they eliminate the other one when they're like, damn it, we must fight at WrestleMania. And I actually think Roxanne Perez should win. Bayley's awesome at that. She gets it. I do think deep down as well, Triple H understands her worth. And also, Bales was winning the Women's Championship last year at WrestleMania. She can't be left off the card. I'd be genuinely annoyed. I do get the concern though, because sometimes Bayley does get booked a little bit weirdly. But ever since the Royal Rumble, she has been the Iron Woman of WWE. She's worked NXT, she's worked Raw, she worked SmackDown. She went to that basketball All-Stars game. You gotta put her on your biggest show of 2025. Otherwise, what the flub are we doing? Number 2, Becky Lynch. I mean, it all depends when she wants to come back. And yeah, it'd be a fair point. Maybe that is the Raw after WrestleMania. She'd get a big old pop. There's also the argument to be had that we could be waiting till after the Elimination Chamber, because you always want to have some cards to play. And there is a feud there for Mania. Of course, you can go back to Becky versus Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental title. And if Becky won that at WrestleMania, well, all of a sudden it's going to feel like a bigger deal. At the moment, WWE barely talks about it. It really does come down to a questioning of times, though, when it sounds like Becky Lynch is totally in control, as she should be. I mean, 1, she is a massive star, but also 2, there is no rush. I mean, she could come back for SummerSlam, and the programs are still going to be there. So yeah, if she wants to miss WrestleMania, she can. But once again, she transcends this old Becky Lynch. I think she's going to be there. Number 1, Randy Orton. So this one is a damn ruse. I will bet my hair that it is going to be Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. The thing is, though, what confused everybody was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, because they were like, is this happening at WrestleMania? And then, no, it's happening at the Elimination Chamber because they are in Canada. When everyone's like, is Randy Orton going to get involved in that? Yes, he probably will do. You can even make this super convoluted and somehow work Sami Zayn in there and do a 3-way. Once again, that's just one multi-man match too many. But you do need to get all these guys on that card. There ain't no reality where they're missed out. It's just not happening. Owens versus Orton is going to have some sort of stipulation as well, given that Kevin tried to kill him. That's another way that maybe Sami is factored in. Or maybe he goes and does something else entirely. Karrion Kross does keep talking about him. So while Randy does spark a conversation at the moment, I do not think you do need to be worried. Orton is like one of the biggest stars that WWE has. He's 100% working WrestleMania. And for this guy's money, it will be against Kevin Owens. I look forward to it. Now, of course, there'll be other superstars that may be missing WrestleMania, or you think they may do. Drop me a comment below if you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And continue your WrestleMania 41 journey by clicking the video on the screen. Otherwise, my friends, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I appreciate it. I will see you soon.